Before this video starts, I just want to give a massive shout out to all my channel members. If you want to receive a shout out, then become a channel member today and you'll be shown on screen like all these other channel members here. Anyways, enjoy the video. In version 14.4, a brand new best of the best unit and variant of Trixi was added to the game, this being Edgemaster Staal. His kit comes equipped with metal, zombie, and Aku targeting with strong and slow, as well as Z-Killer, a critical hit, mini wave, shield piercing, as well as immunities to surge and freeze. I want to go over their kit to see how well he performs in his roles. The footage in his video is of a level 40 Staal, but the numbers focused on will be his level 30 stats. The best place to start is to look at his general stats. At level 30, he has a base 119,000 health, deals 5.1k damage if all 3 of his multi-hits land, and has 9,000 DPS. Staal is meant to be a bruiser unit, just like his counterpart. Low damage, but has high DPS. Without treasures, his effective stats go to 238,000 HP, 7,600 damage, and having a rather high 13,500 DPS. With treasures, these numbers can further be boosted to 297,500 HP, dealing 9,100 damage, and having a rather remarkable 16,500 DPS at just level 30. He has a range stat of 320 and a cooldown of 97.87 seconds with 3,750 cost. He is also strong against metal, zombie, and Aku with a 50% chance to slow them for 0.67 seconds or 0.8 seconds with treasures. He also has a 3% chance to crit, a 30% chance to mini wave, and a 5% chance to pierce shields. His mini wave is able to reach up to 732 range, allowing him to reach most enemies. His 4 knockbacks also give him plenty of chances to reposition, and thus giving him great survivability. Edgemaster Staal, just like Trixi, is a unit you probably won't use all too often outside their target traits, but against their target traits, they're an amazing uber option. The first trait to focus on is metal, as this is the easiest trait to talk about. Staal is easily one of the best anti-metal ubers in the game. Despite only having a 3% chance to crit, his attack rate is on par with Cat Typhoon due to his multi-hit. This is on top of his amazing crowd controlling to slow every metal and the fact that he has mini wave to also slow incoming metal enemies. Also, unlike Cat Typhoon, he has the damage to basically kill every metal enemy in a single hit, bar Super Metal Hippo and Sir Metal Seal. Even then, his amazing crowd control can effectively remove these enemies from play. Even if he's being pushed on by metal enemies, he has more than enough health to tank several hits. If you have the lineup space available, he could further shred metals through crit chance combos, maxing out at 8% chance to crit per hit with all 4 crit combos, but even the extra 2% from miracle performance is more than enough. Zombies are another amazing trait that he can go up against, as most zombie enemies are melee based enemies in the same way that metal enemies are. Him being able to slow the likes of Zerzeal and Zangru allow for a ton of breathing room to make these two way easier to handle. He makes for a rather solid option for Big Peng Z as well, as his ability to keep the penguin slowed can make it way easier to prevent it from attacking and can let Fried Chicken more easily curse the beast. However, there are a few zombies he may struggle with against, like Miss Haka and Big Sal, mainly due to their constant burrowing that counters his bruiser fighting style. The biggest 2 zombies he struggles with, however, are Cadaver Bear and Old Stritch. While at lower magnifications, Cadaver Bear isn't a problem at all. However, once you start dealing with 300% Cadaver Bears, him being able to outrange Staal by a rather large margin leaves him rather vulnerable in being shredded by the bear's high DPS, even with Staal being as tanky as he is. Because of this, he will need the assistance of things like Housewife and the Holy Blast to allow Staal to survive Cadaver Bear. Old Stritch is easily the hardest zombie for him to handle, in part due to their 20 range difference, which for the bird is nothing at all, and Old Stritch being effectively immune to Staal's slow. The slow time on Old Stritch only lasts a measly 7 frames due to him being a Sage enemy, a time that is way too small for it to matter at all, even with his amazing attack rate. The Old Bird also has Toxic, which cuts deep into his durability. Outside of these two, however, Staal is able to be used against almost any zombie and he will be able to easily deal a ton of damage over time. Staal is so good at being an anti-metal and an anti-zombie unit that even at level 30, he is capable of effectively soloing March to Death with just Manic Eraser as this singular meat shield. His freeze immunity also makes it an amazing option for Xionel, as he can just shrug off her hit, block her freeze due to his immunity, and get straight to slashing away at her. His last target is Aku, and just like his last 2 targets, he is amazing against them. However, unlike zombies and metals, Akus don't have a fruit treasure that counters them, so his effective stats are lower against Aku. His ability to very easily slow the likes of Akugori and Condemn Pang make him extremely useful against these two, especially Akugori, who's notorious for being rather aggressive. To complement his Aku targeting, he comes built in with a 5% chance to pierce shields. While the odds may sound low, remember that his attack rate is absurdly fast and can very easily pierce shields even with these low odds. His damage output is good enough to where you can also just brute force Midnight D shield very easily, but it is a bonus if you can pierce the shield. His surge immunity is amazing for the various death surges that Aku spawn, and his freeze immunity makes him an excellent pick for Wicked Face and Aki. Against the 9 Malevolent bosses, the only one where he isn't a good pick is against Malevolent Dark due to the lack of curse immunity, leaving him unable to slow the field and getting shredded quickly by Malevolent Dark by virtue of also being outranged. Even though they can't be slowed, Malevolent Mohawk can be used as a good stepping stone to let him pierce the Behemoth and Fallen Bear shields due to his mini-wave, as well as being able to slow them down. The one Malevolent boss where he can work but may not be needed is against King Dragon, as the whole stage is primarily traitless enemies, with the King Dragons being the only Aku present. He can make rushing down the first King Dragon a lot easier, especially with Bahamut. If he's able to nudge a little bit into King Dragon's range during the main fight, he could possibly pierce a shield with the mini-wave. Said mini-wave can also be used to slowly chip away at Master A, and his DPS is capable of clearing out Mega Babas pretty quickly, but generally better options are available. Staal also makes for an amazing option against the Omens, as his surge immunity allows him to stay completely safe against them during the main fight. Him also being able to slow zombies makes it way easier to keep Johnny and Leon still, and his mini-wave can provide solid chip damage against the Omens themselves, on top of being able to slow them. His mini-wave can even help with the Midnight D by piercing his shield. However, once Johnny Leon is dead, it's somewhat hard to get value out of him against the Omens, but this is more so due to the Omens dealing massive chunks of damage than anything, having to rely on the peon spam to get a ton of value during the cleanup phase. So, how good is Agent Staal? Well, to simply put, he is an amazing unit against his target traits. Being able to slow effectively every enemy gives him plenty of chances to cut through many enemies that he targets. There are a few enemies that can give him trouble, such as Cadaver Bear, Ultrich, and Malevolent Dark, but outside of these few exceptions, he's an amazing bruiser to deal long-term damage against metals, zombies, and Akus. With all that said, I want to thank you for watching this analysis of Agent Staal. If you thought this insight was interesting, then be sure to give it a like and subscribe to the channel if you enjoy Battle Cats content, and comment down below your thoughts on Agent Staal. I'd love to hear what you all think of them. Also, shout out to the following channel members: Dr. Deadly, Gamet, Ian Dean, Gross Cat the Best, Ninja Stars, Virus El Perro, Just a Shark, Potato King, and Chorus for being silver members or higher. If you want to receive a shout out like these channel members here, then become a silver member or higher today. Becoming a channel member supports what I do in a way that helps keep the lights on, and channel members receive an exclusive role in my Discord server, for which you can find a link to in the description down below. Anyways, I hope you have a wonderful day.